So yeah, as usual, I was sleeping and had this download. We are in the age of Aquarius, right? So I know Aquarius is the sign, the zodiac sign of I know. And when I was flowing, in that stream of thoughts, not thinking, but flowing in that stream of thoughts, downloading, what came to me is the initials of I know. I know. I is one letter and the K, so I K. I as well, represents the I, by the way. So the I knows. What's IK? Instinctively, my mind went to instant karma, right? Instinctively. Uh, what followed in my mind, my brain was, I know instant karma is here, right? And as witnessed by me, this is not even a new message. I had this download like pretty much a month ago when there was a full moon in Gemini in December. It was very revealing in a sense. I think there was a lot of communication. I don't want to say an open portal, but a lot of communication coming from our higher selves, and I don't think it was just me. So I don't usually buy into, it's the 1111 portal, it's this and that portal, I'd rather see it personal, I didn't hear like somebody saying that during that period it was important to actually meditate, but at night time what was happening to me is knock knock on wardrobe and stuff like that. So I knew there was some type of spirits, or call it the way you want to call it, your higher self, spirit guides, entities that wanted to have a talk, like women say, we gotta talk, yeah. So the spirit manifested that way. They kept knocking, and it was happening during a period where I was re-embracing my higher self. So heard a lot of knock knock, and yeah, that's the so-called witch hour, the wizard hour, right? So 3 to 5 a.m. That's where the pathway is clear and we receive messages. So that's the message that I receive. I know instant karma is here, the IK, the initials. I know instant karma is here on planet Earth, planet Key. And IK, I know instant karma, backwards, the IK is Key, right? Which is the name of planet Earth, ancient name of planet Earth. So, and then following that, I had several, occasions in which I could see what I have witnessed on my downloads, and I could say, yeah, you can see, there's instant karma, you gotta be a student of life, because nothing is left to I'm thinking in Italian and I'm speaking in English. Nothing is left to the case. I'm making the literal translation, but it's wrong. But nothing is left to something to happen like this casually, It's all the fruit of, as I said before, cause and effect, And I actually also spoke about how the future can affect the past, But anyway, leaving that aside for a second. So yeah, that's why you have to be a student of life, because student of life, not lie. I said lie. Even a student of lies, in order to know the truth. You have to be a student of life, because then you will realize that nothing is by accident, and the more you get into the scientific, approach to life in general, the more, elements, will come together to create this puzzle for you to see the full picture. And the full picture will always redirect you to truth. And the truth is that, you will always able to decode what's happening around you, right? So whether it's by way of numbers, whether it's by way of words, which I do like, and numbers as well, behaviors. When you start to study these things, you will see certain patterns, you will see certain common denominators, and you will realize, okay, this didn't happen by accident. And it was interesting because it was, we can say, somehow an end of a cycle, because 2025 was a 9-year and it was the end of a cycle. And as I previously stated, I don't necessarily believe like, oh, this portal, that portal, but we are living in cycles, right? And as Tahuti stated in the Emerald Tablets of Thought, Tahuti, right? Ningizida, for the Anunnaki, Ningizida, we live in cycle within cycles, so there is patterns. I believe in that. So, and as humans, we create those patterns. We create those energies. We create those matrix within the matrix, right? That do dictate somehow the times that we are living in. That's why that's why mind is important. Thoughts are important. Because we energize those. Whatever we think, it can become a reality. Whatever we fear as well. That's why we have to try to focus not on energizing too much on negative things. That is fundamentals, because that can become a reality. But anyway, I didn't want to talk about that. So yeah, as I was saying, there's cycle within cycles, and numbers do dictate that, and we were on the end of a cycle, which is the 9-year. And I could see in my life as well, like how that cycle, opened the way for something to happen that started like 9 years before that, previous to that, and I was like, yo, why this shit happened? Like, I thought I was above and beyond this. But there's nothing that you can do about it, And we're not above and beyond the law. You might think that you are above and beyond a certain period in your life, certain circumstances, but whatever you see that, ultimately comes to fruition, no matter how long you can delay that. But yeah, not much delaying anymore, because I know instant karma is here, right? And it's a beautiful thing, right? So if you truly are a spiritual person, a spiritual being, you don't want to escape karma, first and foremost, because if you act in an orderly manner, if you are clean, or as we would say in our language, if you are tzodok, right? If you are pure in your intentions, first and foremost, positive things will happen to you, right? And then, let's say, the negative things that could happen to you is because you are going against certain powers, certain forces of darkness, or as the Hutu would call them. My hair are vibrating right now on this right side. You're going against like the so-called dark brothers, right? Because this is the reality we're living in, the dark brothers. That's how Tahuti calls them in the Emerald Tablets. The endless war between light and the dark brothers. As above, so below. It's literally like that in real life. But you will know that certain negative things that will happen to you might be due to this ongoing spiritual war. But at least you will be able to know that this is the consequences, not necessarily due to your wrong behavior or negative seeds that you seeded, but simply because you are at war with certain forces, right? But yeah, that aside, instant karma is here on planet Ki. And this is a key, like a literal key, like, you know, to open doors, you know. So the gateway was open, and that's the message that I received, which is pretty simple, but sometimes, you know, we shouldn't give things for granted, you know. Somebody might need to hear this, you know, in order to correct their own behavior, as I do, or I try to do, you know, try to act as righteous as possible. But yeah, this is the reality we're living in now. And yeah, that's all.